if handled correctly. Then it was on to Panama. After that, the route would be firmly established, and he would never have to travel in this low manner again. "Move," he said, annoyed by this person's impertinence. When that didn't happen, the man showed his knife, its blade shining in the moonlight. That should have been enough, and in the next moment it was. That person, that lowly being, moved aside, but only far enough for the man to pass. He put his knife in his pocket and went on his way, only to stumble, missing his footing when he thought he heard the mate speak. "Dalla!" The sound of it was not so much whispered as choked. "Dalla!" The man righted himself. He tugged at his shirt and raised his chin. He did not look back, positive that it was a trick of his brain that made him lose his footing. Yes, this was his imagination working overtime, brought on by the affront of being scrutinized in such a manner. Perhaps he was unnerved by the solitude of the last many days. It could have been the sound of the ocean breeze bringing up the memory of that name, whispering as it followed him through the heavy door. No matter what it was that made him think of that time so long ago, he resented being put in such a position by someone not worth spit. The man turned to unleash his fury on the brazen snake that dared to address him, but the mate was gone, disappeared into the old creaking hulk of a vessel. The mate had gone so quickly, so silently, that the man wondered if he had imagined the meeting. Perhaps all this was nothing more than a rare itch of conscience. Putting a hand to his eyes, he pressed his fingers against the sockets to quell the pounding behind his lids. Undone by what had happened, the man considered that this encounter might be a bad omen. Then he laughed. Such thoughts were folly. He had a diamond in his ring, after all. Everyone knew that diamonds kept evil spirits away. Yet here he was worrying like an auntie, acting like an amateur. That person was nothing but an ant in a hill, moving things about without knowing why, doing what was expected, and unsure of how to handle the unexpected. He, on the other hand, made things happen with a snap of his fingers. Big things, frightening things, deadly things. Stepping through the heavy metal door, he turned left and not right toward his cabin. He would inspect his cargo once more, count the boxes, and check the lashings. He would visit each container, even the one down in the very bowels of the ship, because tomorrow was important. Tomorrow some of that cargo would be delivered, tested, and accepted, and he would arrange for the next shipments. All would be well. What just happened was nothing. He would move forward as he always had. He would come out on top, as he always had. The Ferret Field was a very large container ship built in 1990. In 2002, it was sold to Liebherr Knox, and then it was acquired by North Jutland Boldson Enterprises in 2004. The vessel sailed as it had since 1990 under a Liberian flag, but it was no longer the pride of the fleet. The massive ship's captain, Adriano Bianchi, was Italian. The first mate, Nanda, was Indonesian. The engineer was a man of mixed heritage whose papers indicated that he came from New Zealand. The crew was sparse, as crews tend to be on such vessels, and numbered 17 seafaring souls. Of the crew there were 4 Chinese, 1 African, 9 hailing from the Balkans, 2 Serbs, 3 Albanians, and 4 Croats, 2 citizens of the Philippines, and one who was a mystery of sorts. The Italian captain, needing another hand at the last minute, merely shrugged at this young man's poorly forged U.S. passport. He ignored his reticent, wary manner and the distrustful darkness in his blue eyes. The young man was possessed of a quiet that made his fellow mates steer clear, and the captain feel as if he were somehow lacking.